bendición perfecta. Que Dios los bendiga.
Amén.
Welcome to Tea and Cornbread, a conversation with Sean and Tracy, where warmth, wisdom, and community come together. Just like a good meal shared with loved ones, our podcast brings heartfelt conversations with incredible people who are making a difference.
We spotlight community leaders, change makers, and everyday heroes who uplift, encourage, and support those around them. Grab a cup of tea, pull up a chair, and join us as we share inspiring stories, real talk, and a whole lot of love. Because when we come together, we nourish more than just our bodies, we feed our souls. Hey, this is Tea and Cornbread with Sean and Tracy. I'm Tracy.
And I'm Sean.
Hey, my sister, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was nice. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did a little,
Little
there was
bit
so
of
much
everything.
going on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of health fairs going on.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned before, you were represented at you did a health fair too.
I was it was a coping with depression workshop seminar event
Okay.
for people that may be dealing with seasonal depression.
Did you get a good crowd? I didn't
Yeah,
even.
there was. I mean, it wasn't my event. I was invited.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did. They had about maybe 25, 30 people.
Good. There was a few
About
things
that.
going on Saturday,
Yeah.
so I kind of get that.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was
Good.
amazing because there were a couple people that did their testimonies
Mm-hmm.
on how they coped with it, and how people put on that facade, and
Yeah.
you look good on the outside,
Yeah,
but
but
you're dying on the
inside, yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
And how they got through it,
Mm-hmm.
and clinically and through faith. You know what I'm
Good.
saying? So it was good. It
And
was
hopefully
good.
they reach someone else. So,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
there were a few men there too, which is different.
Nice.
Usually men don't come to those type of things. But your cousin
Mhm.
was one of the speakers. He was excellent.
Dwayne.
Dwayne, yeah, he was talking about his time.
Yep.
And how he uses exercise as a way of relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And you talk about that all the time.
yeah. Exercise is great.
Yeah.
It's
so
funny
good.
that you say that because on Saturday, I think I was talking to a young man in the gym, and he's usually not there on Saturdays. He's there Monday through Fridays. And I said, "Oh, odd to see you here." He says, "I got so much stuff going on in my brain. I had to come to the gym." I said, "I get it. I get it."
Mhm.
I said, "I'll leave you to it," and just walked away from him. So
Yeah.
everybody's going through something. So
Absolutely, good or bad.
yeah,
But exercise is good for a lot of people.
definitely,
you know.
definitely.
All right. What about you?
Um,
You said you went to the health fair at the Q.
At the Q.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was good too. That was good. They had a few vendors out there. I mean, 10 or so different vendors out there. And we double dutched with Power in
Okay.
Your Body.
Okay.
So that was fun. So
Mhm.
yeah, that
All
was
right.
good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited about today's
Yes.
guest.
I know.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
We're
Mr.
honored to
Charles-
have you
yes,
here.
we're honored.
We're
Yes.
honored to have
Yes,
you here.
Attorney Charles Green.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Yes.
We're gonna have a good time. This is
Mm.
gonna be a good conversation. But what we do, Charles, is
Yes.
we breathe, and then we read devotional, and then we go into the conversation. So,
Yeah.
because what?
I don't
What
have
happened?
devotional.
It's all right. We
I left
listen.
it.
These phones will
They
save
work
us
the same
sometimes.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll save us sometime. Even though let me see. I'm gonna read today's verse of the day.
Okay.
It says Isaiah 43, King James Version. We didn't breathe first. We were supposed to breathe first. But
It's
anyway,
okay.
the
We'll get
voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God.
Amen.
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 All right.
Amen.
So what we do is we rub our hands together and conjure up some energy. And we do this to calm our nerves. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it don't look like, we nervous, but we are. And then we're going to inhale through our nose. We're going to do it 3 times. You put your feet flat and exhale through your mouth. Ready?
Mhm.
I'm going to do this. Go. When we're inhaling our intent for this conversation, and exhaling all that doesn't serve us. All right, one more time. You might get a little dizzy if this is the first time doing it, but it's giving your brain some oxygen. All right, all right.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce our guest.
Yes, yes.
He is attorney Charles E. Green Jr., a senior assistant public defender for the state of Connecticut. He's worked for the division practicing criminal defense law at the Waterbury's Superior Court in Waterbury, Connecticut for over 18 years. He holds a Juris Doctorate from Southern New England School of Law, now known as the University of Massachusetts School of Law. He has served in various capacities in the legal arena in Connecticut, New York, and Massachusetts. He earned his undergraduate degree in public science from the State University of New York College of Fredonia.
Correct.
Okay. And his master's degree in political science from the City of New York at Brooklyn College. With a vast portfolio of experience, Attorney Green is known for his steadfast commitment to the law and defending the rights of the citizens of Connecticut. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having
Awesome.
me, ladies.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you for carving out the time to come
Right.
and sit with us.
It's my pleasure, ladies.
Busy man.
Yes.
My pleasure, ladies.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so let's get right into this interview.
Okay. Let's go.
And one of the things that I always want to know from people is what made you go this route with your career?
First and foremost, again, I thank the two of you for having the insight. Also having the willingness to want me to be on your show. It's a very honor. It's a privilege.
Thank you.
And I've been looking forward to this since I
Nice.
was first asked
Nice.
several months ago. So, so
You're
I'm
a
very
busy
happy.
man. You're a busy
I'm
man.
very happy to be here. So first and foremost, because your platform is one that's needed, it's one that's appreciated, and you guys bring a wealth of information to your listeners. So
Thank
you for the job that
Thank
you
you.
guys do and continue doing what is necessary, which is bringing information to the community. So thank you again. I think it was, at the end of the day, it was a calling from the man above. I'm not going to say it was anything other than that, because I do have a very strong foundation in personal injury law,
Okay.
and I've done some contract law before going to law school and during law school. And I will tell you that when you graduate law school, those bills start to amount. And sometimes you take the first thing that you're given or you have an opportunity to do. I actually wanted to always help folks. I did want it to go into corporate, but again, the division came knocking.
Okay.
The Division of Public Defender Services came knocking, and they told me that they wanted me, and I felt welcomed.
Yeah.
And from then on, you have almost 18 years of serving the folks and citizens of Connecticut, specifically Waterbury, Connecticut. So as I've been told, I'm doing God's work. I consider myself a servant more than anything, and that's how I'm here.
Awesome. No, really, that is awesome to hear because I'm pretty sure this job is tough.
It's very tough. It's a thankless job.
Yeah.
However, I don't want to say thankless in the sense that it's negative. It's not.
Okay.
It's not negative in a thankless way,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, I will tell you, practicing for 18 years, I've only received one thank you letter or thank you card. However, that one thank you card is exactly what I needed
Yeah.
and what I look at every time I go in my office. But that's not what sums up what I do, because sometimes I don't get those thank you cards. You know what I get? When I'm walking on the town green, when I'm in the mall,
They're yelling your name.
and they say, "Thank you, Attorney Green, for helping me. I remember you.
Yeah.
You were my attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you. You helped my nephew." The verbal stuff, the acknowledgement, is what goes even further.
Mhm.
That's what you remember
Mm-hmm.
from day one. So those are the things that get you through. The commitment to continue to help people. Because at the end of the day, I believe that's one of our purposes is to help the less fortunate in some way or fashion.
I agree. I agree. And that's awesome. Like you just said, that when you see people out in public that they remember you. People don't always sit down and write letters. They don't
Exactly.
always say thank you. But at the end of the day, they're listening and they're paying attention.
Exactly.
You know? So that must make you like walk up straight and be
Yeah.
like, yes.
Well, it gives you a sense of satisfaction that what you're doing is making a difference.
Right.
right.
Sometimes progress is slow, but it's progress no matter what.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So you don't know who you're helping. You could be helping someone out of a jam that becomes the next mayor or Waterbury. You never
Right.
know,
Right.
especially if they're a younger person.
Yeah.
You know, if you're helping them avoid charges, avoid convictions, or making those things lesser than what they originally started as, will also help them. And on a way, you're educating them as well about the system, which is one of the biggest things that I like to do is educate folks about our criminal justice
Yeah.
system. Because it's just not representing individuals. I don't want my clients to walk away and not learn something from me.
Right.
Or more importantly, me not learn something from them. I think it's a two-way
That's-
street.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's awesome.
I was just about to say the same thing. That because how many people care? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
You're
It's a
you're
job
coming-
to some
right.
people,
You're
just
coming
a
from
job.
a sense of purpose and a sense of heart. You know, in caring what that person knows and understands about the situation they may be in. Because if they leave there and they go to jail or not, and they don't understand what even happened, then how could they even make better choices
Right.
later?
They're
Exactly.
doomed to
You know?
repeat it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. That's great, and that's all ages. And you represent. You're not representing just youth, right?
No, I've had the opportunity to represent juveniles. I've represented older folks, adults, children in child protection cases as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
Domestic violence cases, and the simple trespasses, the assaults, and things of that nature.
So the gamut.
The gamut, yes. I've started off at what they call the GA, or the geographical area, which in another word is low court. I worked there for about 11 years. Earned my stripes there, and then moved on to the judicial district, which is called Part A, or High Court.
Okay.
And I've been there since 2017,
Okay.
handling the more serious cases, murders, high-profile drug cases, gun cases, and things of that nature.
Okay.
Wow.
So my reason for asking you to be on the show is because I was in the room with you, and you talked about doing like a mock trial
Correct.
for children. Like you just said, you like to educate people on the judicial system. So talk about that and why. Why do you have that passion for that, specifically for kids, or young adults? What brings that? What brings that to you?
Education, first and
Okay.
foremost. I just think that we have to do a better job at educating our youth about systems, ways of living, how to go about asking the right questions, and most importantly, knowing how to identify situations that they're in and how to go about or navigate those situations. So we did a mock trial with Granville Academy,
Okay.
which was also helped out by the links here in Waterbury as well. So we helped out, and of course, my chapter of Lambda Row chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, the greatest chapter ever founded.
Okay. All right. Y'all heard that, right?
Yes. We were working in partnership with those two other organizations, and I was asked to develop, not really develop, but because the concept was there, but I was asked to pick it back up
Okay.
and get a program together. So what we did was we got local lawyers to act as tutors and group leaders, and we had the children who would come on every Saturday participate. So you had children that were witnesses, state's attorneys, criminal defense
Nice,
attorneys.
Nice.
We did have a real judge come in and sit with a robe, with a gavel,
Okay.
and we had a real hypothetical case fact pattern. And what they did was they actually went about the process of coming up with a defense, coming up with strategies, having pretrial negotiations. When those didn't work out, which was planned, that was part of the plan because we were heading to a trial.
Right.
Okay.
So we had it worked out where there wasn't going to be any agreements because we put it in there that way where the defendant at the time wouldn't take any offers. And then we went to a trial and we went through picking the jury. We went through calling witnesses. We had actually my children at the time, my oldest daughter, Janelle, she was one of the state's attorneys. And my son was one of the witnesses. So they were able to, participate thoroughly in the program that day. And it was a great success. Like I said before, we had several different attorneys. Tishon Bowden Lewis, the former chief public defender, came down and helped out.
That's so
and
awesome.
She did a
Oh
great
my
job.
goodness.
And we did a great job. And the kids did great. They really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping very soon we'll have that again.
Nice.
The plan is to get back down at Jonathan Reed School
Okay.
and get
Do
back
it
in there again. Yes.
Call me to be a lawyer.
Of course. Of course. You got it.
I need
Call
the
me. I want to
training.
be a lawyer.
I need
You
the training.
got it. You got it. You got it.
And should be a good one too.
You got it.
That's
Um,
awesome. Well, hopefully, I'm sorry.
No,
Hopefully, after doing those mock trials, you got some of those students that participated saying that's what they want to do. That's
Yeah.
their
Exactly.
field that they want to
Yeah.
go into. It really sounds so interesting sitting
Yes.
here as a grown lady. I'm like,
Ready.
when is it time for the adults? Because I'm in.
All right.
I'm
Sounds
in.
good. Sounds good.
You're never too old. Never too
Not
old to go
at
to
all.
school. So yeah, that sounds like it was really, really great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you came from all aspects of the court system.
Exactly.
Because it's almost like going to the doctors where they scare you about going to the doctors or they
Yes.
scare you about going to court or
Yeah.
and so for you to have then you had tutors. So how long did it take for you guys to prep them?
I would say about 2 weeks.
That's it.
Yeah, about 2 weeks. See, the foundation was already there.
Okay.
Changing up a couple of sentences here and there was the easy part. The hardest part was just getting, to be quite honest with you, was getting the adult help. And what I mean by that is the scheduling.
Right.
Oh.
It wasn't the want or the desire. It was
Right.
just the scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
What we're hoping to do this time around, this rotation, is now that I believe that I have some stake in the city of Waterbury and also in 400 Grand Street, that's where the criminal court building is, I'm going to try to bring that into the
actual
courthouse
courthouse.
and get one of the courtrooms
Right.
to actually have the mock trial. So we'll have a judge sitting where the judge sits, the witnesses in the witness boxes, the jury in the jury box. We have 2 tables there, one for the defense, one for the state, and we have the galley where visitors will come in. So that's the next step, is to take it into an actual courtroom and let them feel the
Yeah.
experience of that.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that program, how long is it? Or like what is the ultimate goal? Is there an ultimate goal in the end? So say for instance, you have those kids that are like, I think this is what I want to do. Is there something that they can continue, or is there other resources for them to continue to pursue it?
Well, what we would like to do is make sure that we be consistent with offering this
Okay.
program. So
Each year.
we're trying to get back to that. So that's the first step. And then the next step after that is making the connections, having the adult individuals, the various lawyers, the various judges be available for any type of phone calls or any type
Okay.
of tutoring and things of that nature. So we can have that connection between the kids and the adults. And then hopefully have those same kids come back
Yeah.
and participate
Right.
in the programming as various aspects of the program. Maybe having them come back and be someone who's a team leader, which we did. We had some young attorneys that were from Waterbury come back, and they were members of the Links, and they were able to help out with those things.
Nice.
So we did have some give back in regards to younger attorneys that had just passed the bar. So
Oh, nice.
so that was there. And so the biggest thing is trying to get the consistency back again so we can offer something like that on
So,
a regular
like,
basis.
You mean offering it maybe more than once a year, or just
Yes,
once a year?
exactly, exactly, and maybe more than once a year
Okay.
if we can do that.
So, being a public defender, again, we
Yes,
know it
ma'am.
may not be an easy task. Oh, how do I say your list or your rotation of getting clients is not a choice, right? Because you get whoever's up next, or how does that work
Okay,
on a daily basis for you?
so as everyone knows, the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, and also the state Constitution, makes it law that if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. And what that means is that if you cannot afford legal representation, we're here. We're mandated and constituted by the state of Connecticut to provide legal representation upon being appointed by the judge or the court. So that's how we get our cases,
Okay.
by appointment.
Okay.
Is there times where we have conflicts? Yes. So in other words, if I represent person A, but there's also a person B and a person C, and they've been charged with some sort of conspiracy to commit some particular charge. Person A will stay with me.
Okay.
We have what we call assigned counsel or special public defenders. These are attorneys, private attorneys that have contract with my division, and then we'll ration out person B and person C, so there's no conflict. Obviously, we can't represent all
Both
three
parties,
because
yeah.
all three may have different interests. So we can only represent one. So I usually get that first one, and then those other two will be given special public defenders or assigned counsel, and that's how those conflicts will be worked out.
I notice is you can't answer this. Maybe you can. Is it harder representing Black and brown people than it is representing any other in the court system itself? Not on a personal level. I just mean as far as rules and regulations go. Do you find you got to go through so much more when you have to represent someone of color?
I would say that if you're doing your job right, the answer is no.
Okay.
Because because at the end of the day, you're representing the marginalized, and that could be anybody.
Anybody.
You're representing the unfortunate, and that
Okay.
could be anybody.
Okay.
The condemned, and that can be anybody. But I will say to you that obviously the topic of race is very high. It's a hot topic within our criminal justice system. I think for myself, since I do have a good foundation in terms of how I go about handling people, I have a keener eye. I have a sense of responsibility
Okay.
to want to make sure that I dot all my I's and cross all my T's to make sure that I'm doing the right thing by those clients. And to this point, I think I've done an excellent job. But I will say to you that it is tough because of how the system is created and how it works.
Okay.
We have to be on our P's and Q's, and we have to watch out for those things. I've been fortunate enough to be able to talk about race
Okay.
with colleagues within the division and also with judges and who have listened. My division, I believe, does a very good job at educating young attorneys to be ready for those fights. But it's not for the faint. It's not for the ill.
No.
It's
Okay.
for those people who are ready to do the fight.
Really want it.
And I think that to a certain degree, it's not a perfect science, but to a certain degree, I think we do a pretty good job at making sure that those liberties and those freedoms are protected to the best of our abilities.
I'm glad to hear that. Not that I thought any different. You hear different things, but unless you're in it, you don't know. So that's why the question came up. Not, I didn't think you would be
No, I
treating anybody any different
no,
based off of
I
their color.
I
but it's
appreciate
real, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
You know what I
appreciate the question because unfortunately, there's a lot of myths
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
attorneys that work for the public defender's office. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion about us even changing our names, public defenders, and instead of public defenders, maybe public attorneys, because some people even think that there's a difference between an attorney and a public defender.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. I've heard that.
Words.
at the end of the day, I
still
took a bar exam.
Mm-hmm.
I passed it.
Mm-hmm.
I can show you my law license on my wall.
Yeah.
I can show you my law school bills that I paid for.
Right.
I took the bar 2 days, 8 hours per day, passing that bar. I can leave the public defender's services and go
Go
put
be
up my own
attorney.
shingle
Right.
and start practicing law right
Yeah.
then and right there.
So
And I've been asked to do that, but at this point in my career, this is
Where you're needed.
this is where my passion is. This
Yeah.
is where I think I'm needed at this point.
Right.
Still.
And that's a true statement, what you just said. Attorney versus public defender. People automatically think they work for the state, they're not going to give 100%. And,
And I think a lot
they
of the
don't care.
myths come from not being educated,
definitely.
because you got to also remember, you don't know what that attorney and that client went through to get that client that disposition.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know the conversations that were had between that client
Right.
and that attorney. You think that a deal was just made and that attorney didn't do everything necessary, but you don't know that for true. You don't know that for sure. You don't know the time that goes into it. You don't know whether or not that particular person has a record around the block. And those prior convictions may come up to haunt that person if you do go that route. You don't know how much time went into pre-negotiations to get that particular offer. So there's a lot of things that a lot of folks don't know that leads to the myths.
Right. I agree.
And we're trying to dispel them as best as we can. But you do that by the work.
Right.
yeah.
You do that by the work.
And like you said, when people come up to you and say, I remember you, thank you.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
your work speaks for itself.
exactly.
And so, right. Oh, listen, you know what? I'm learning so much. I'm just sitting here like, whoa, okay. So what else are you passionate about?
Besides helping people, like I said, I wear a lot of hats, but I consider
Right.
myself a servant. And I really think that a person's character is very important, and putting it into work in the streets and the community in terms of where is going to matter. So I'm all about community service. I'm all about empowerment. I'm all about a lot of things that my own fraternity puts forth, and that's manhood, Christian manhood now, scholarship, education, academics, perseverance, making sure that you continue moving in that right direction amidst any type of hurdles or challenges. And at the last point, upliftment or uplifting of the
Being there,
community.
yeah.
That's what we do on a daily basis. And that's what I'm passionate about. Hey, listen, being a father, believe it or not, being a father is something that's very important to me. I was just having a conversation with myself the other day, and you tend to ask